Welcome to Save the Frogs Academy, week 2 of our Save the Frogs Day class. Thanks for being here again. And basically we have a lot of time to talk about what you did over the past week, what you plan to do, and how to make it all work out the best way possible. So I think I'll just start by saying some things that I did and some things I am preparing to do, and then I'll put it on to you all. Originally, as I said, the class was going to have 10 people, and therefore we'd have, say, 6 to 8 minutes or so to all go around and talk about each other's projects. We don't have that many people on the line, which gives us all plenty of time, or otherwise we'll just go through it and then end sooner than expected, which is also fine if nobody has any extra questions. Okay. We finally got some Save the Frogs Day posters put online. This year's Save the Frogs Day posters, which will go out to event organizers so that they have cool posters at their event. And so we have 2 of them right here, 18 by 24. They're also orderable through our posters page for $9.95. So those are up online, and we got a postcard made as well that will have 1,000 of printed up initially. This is the basic postcard, and it says something about Save the Frogs Day on the back. And those also will go out in the event organizer packages for event organizers to distribute. Next year, what I'd like is to get our I'd like all of our printed materials to get created, graphic designed, very soon after the event, within a month or 2 of the event, so that we have all these materials online for a long time, and then get the Save the Frogs Day postcard with a call to action on the back side that will ask teachers probably to hold events on the 6th annual Save the Frogs Day. And we'll get that mass mailed out to schools. We have a big list of addresses of high schools, and we could just mass send out that postcard to announce it well in advance. And we also got events online that have been not only registered, but that were well written by the event organizer. Sometimes people register events and it's not very clear what they're doing, so we write them back and ask them what they're doing. So up at the top of the page now on Save the Frogs Day, it's got register your event here, and it's got learn about the events here. And we hope to get a lot of events up here very soon. So once you know the details of your event, please go ahead and register your event with the type of text written up that all we have to do is copy it and paste it right here. And it's got all the details about your event, where it's taking place, what's happening, when it's happening, how people can get there, who they should contact, etc. So we got our Santa Cruz event that I'm helping coordinate. I will not be here for it. I will be in Colombia. I guess that's the other thing I accomplished related to Save the Frogs Day. I'll be in Medellin, Colombia on Save the Frogs Day, where the University of Antioquia and another local university are going to be setting up a big event. And I'll be in Colombia April 10th to May 15th, going to about 5 different cities there and meeting with a lot of different amphibian biologists and giving a lot of talks. But here in Santa Cruz, we've got a cool event happening where we're getting a local professor, probably some local other amphibian experts from nonprofits and the government, as well as some of our UC Santa Cruz interns and graduates to give some talks on frogs and take people out looking for frogs. Been helping out with the Seattle 5K promotion as well. And we got an event in Nigeria for the first time ever. So that's up on the site, but not too many other events. So once you get your event figured out, please register it. Coming up to do, I'm going to have a newsletter going out tomorrow all about Save the Frogs Day, with Save the Frogs Day in the subject line, so that 28,000 people hopefully see it, and it'll kick people into action. And that's going to have info on these awards we're giving out through Enviro Kids, where we're able to fund a lot of people's Save the Frogs Day packages if they're from North America, so that we can send them materials for their event for free. And also, we're working on a petition. We have hundreds, I don't have the precise count, but we have a good number of signatures for a petition to recognize Save the Frogs Day that we will be sending out to Governor Jerry Brown of California ASAP. Usually it's good to give politicians at least 3 months notice for any kind of proclamation. If you all are into petitioning your local government, then go to the Save the Frogs Day main page and you can scroll down until you see the proclamations area. Help get Save the Frogs Day recognized in your state. And you can go to that page right there for some info and a petition that will help you out. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys. How about we'll start with Choti, who I spoke to on the phone yesterday. And all of you, to remind you, each week you are free to set up a call or Skype with me, and we have specifically dedicated a half an hour of my time to helping you out. So whether that's through emails or phone or Skype, you can take advantage of it and ask my opinion or seek my assistance. So it's good to, even if it's not a half an hour, just checking in each week and making sure everyone's on the same wavelength. And that includes stuff as simple as, hey, I wrote up a letter. I plan to send it to whoever. Can you read it over and make sure it sounds good? I'm happy to do that. All right, so Choti, I've unmuted you. You need to unmute yourself now. There you go. And so go ahead and tell us what you've been working on and any problems, any successes, any questions, and then we'll hear about what's next in store from you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I wanted to set up a local event for Save the Frogs Day, and I did approach my local library where I live in a fairly smallish town, and it was actually quite frustrating because I got a lot of "you are who" calling about what. So not many people, it's not just Save the Frogs that they don't know about, which is understandable, but not many people, even people I would consider knowledgeable, like library administrators, seem to understand that there's even an issue that needs to be looked at in terms of amphibians or frogs. So it was kind of frustrating. I did get in touch with somebody else in the class, Alyssa, by email, and she gave me a lot of input, which was really nice. And then I spoke to you, Kerry, as well. So what I've done is I've realized that it needs to be face-to-face. I'm finding it a little difficult to deal over the phone or by email. I am going to take some printed material, which I've printed off from the website, like the information card. I printed out photographs, pictures of the posters, just so I have something in print, and I'll be getting some stuff in the mail. Not in event packages yet, but just a few of the things I can actually show to people. And I think I actually need to be face-to-face, so I can not just explain, but they see that it's important to me and that it matters, and I think that that makes a difference as well. So I have set up, I don't have an actual appointment, but I have set up to where I'm going to meet with the director of the library. I also emailed the university in a town near me in Boulder, Colorado. Actually, on your website, Kerry, you have a contact name at UC Boulder. So I did email him, and I'm hoping to hear back during the week. I am going to get in touch with the Denver Zoo as well. I'm just going to wait for the weekends to pass. And that's about it. Next week I plan to actually meet people in person. If I don't hear from them, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to show up with my materials, and I'm going to try to see people and speak to them face to face. But I'm hoping to have something local in this area, because I'd like to be able to encourage exposure to the knowledge that there is a problem at a local level. I think that would be valuable. That's what I'm working on. And Alyssa, since you can hear me now, thank you again. That was very helpful.
Thanks, Jyoti.
Okay.
So the first couple things that come to my head is I noticed that our former contact at UC Boulder, it's possible he changed universities. So if you don't hear back soon, let me know. I'm sure there's other people there who are still working on something, and I can try to search down what his current address was, if it was his university's email address we were using. So keep me posted.
Thank you, Kerry. If I don't hear back by let's say midweek latest, I'm just going to go there.
Okay, yeah. If you go to the Natural History Museum, they know all about Save the Frogs Day, and they'll know what's happening with that. So that's a good idea. Another idea that I had, since you're interested in potentially setting up your own table somewhere, I think people have done it before, is that you call a local mall, and malls tend to be busy on Saturdays, and the malls sometimes let nonprofits hold tables, and you could just set up a Save the Frogs table, and you've got all these completely brand new people who have varying levels of degree of exposure to environmental issues walking by, including a lot of families. So that's another way, that may even get more passers-by than you would at a local library. So something else to think about. Now, does anybody out there have anything to say to Jyoti? You can just type your name. You don't even have to type your whole question, and I can unmute you if you want. And part of the goal of these Save the Frogs Day classes or online meetings is that everybody's giving input. Alyssa says she was happy to hear you. How do you make the chat view viewable by the entire audience? I get it. Well, I had never thought about that. Let's see. I'm not sure if everybody if I have the ability to make everybody see the chat. So it's possible that when you send a chat, you can set it to either come straight to me or to the entire audience. I know that I have the ability at the bottom of the chat menu. Mine currently says all entire audience, meaning that when I send a chat, it just defaults, goes out to everybody. So you could try that. Now, if anyone wants to say anything now, say it. Otherwise, just go ahead when it's your turn to talk. Then feel free to start out if you have anything to mention. to anybody who has spoken previously, then go ahead and do it. And then at the end, again, we'll open it up to anyone to say anything about their own project or anybody else's project. We used to have the ability to raise hands so that I could see if you want to talk, but we don't. But so yeah, if you want to talk, just send me a chat, say let me talk. Something to that effect. It doesn't have to have a full written out question. Samuel in Ghana asks if Choti is raising some funds, and I don't think she has a fundraising plan, though we're going to send her some free educational materials. So I think the only funds needed currently are her time and a little bit of telephone expenses and perhaps some fuel if she's driving around, and hopefully she'd combine that with some other trip that's happening. Choti, if you have anything to say on that respect, you're welcome to. Otherwise, here we go. Choti's on. You're on.
If I'm able to do something like you just suggested at the mall, and actually Boulder, Colorado, which is a university town and very busy by spring with tourists because of the scenery and the weather and stuff, that it's an outside mall, like a strip mall where there's no cars driving. With
Pearl Street Mall.
Pearl Street Mall.
Yeah, that would be a great place. Of course, it's kind of weather dependent when you're talking, you know.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's
yeah, that's a good idea.
Positive vibes here. But if I can do something outside like that, then I was planning to raise some funds by doing things like baking and stuff so that something can be sold. I am hoping to do that. But other than that, I wasn't planning to do any major fundraising combined at the same time. I really want to get information out there that there is a problem. I think it's becoming more clear to me that just how many people are not even aware that there is a problem.
Okay,
with
good.
Frog populations.
All right. So yeah, I think, you know, when I mentioned that my vision was a standard traditional American mall inside, but certainly Pearl Street Mall is definitely a good place, weather permitting, and there's lots of tourists for certain and people with money walking by who would certainly be into maybe buying a shirt or becoming donors. So I think that's a good idea. And it could be both, you know, UC Boulder maybe having their event, you know, who knows what time of day. And if you're into doing something that you're fully in charge of and get permission to do it, you could spend a few hours out on the mall as well. And yeah, just on the topic of fundraising, I probably showed you guys this, but if not, there's our page, savethefrogs.com/fundraise. And it's got various ideas on how you can raise some money, including these free cookie cutters that we can send you if you plan to use them to bake some cookies, which do a good job raising some money. All right, so thanks a lot, Choti. And again, anyone at any point in this call, when you're on the line, if you have any thoughts for Choti or anybody else, let us know. I'm going to put on Alyssa, who is in Pennsylvania, I believe. Hi, Alyssa. Alyssa, can you hear me? All right, we'll come back to Alyssa shortly. Let's move on. We've got Save the Frogs Advisory Committee member. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's try Alyssa again. Alyssa, you're back. All right, I do not hear you. Remember that in the email I sent out with info on this meeting, there's a call-in number that can be used from the telephone. So if you want to use your telephone to dial into this meeting, that's another option. So I am going to remute you. Just send me a message if something comes up and you want to retry. And I'm going to go see if Save the Frogs Advisory Committee member Michael Starkey is on the line. Michael.
I am on the line. How's it
Hi.
going?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Okay. Do you want to say anything about anything Save the Frogs Day related, including your story for Save the Frogs Day?
I'm not sure if anyone is, I guess, briefed on what I'll be doing, but I'll be going to Ghana, and Gilbert, the executive director of Save the Frogs Ghana, has put together quite an itinerary for me of my time there. I'll be spending a month in Ghana, and I'm not actually 100% sure where I'll be on Save the Frogs Day, if it was Kumasi or if it was the Tiwa Hills. Do you know, Kerry?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I think that Gilbert's plan is to have a few different Save the Frogs Day events kind of staggered by a couple days each so that he'll be able to attend them. So, there's probably going to be one on Save the Frogs Day and then one in a different city a couple days beforehand and maybe a different city a couple days afterwards.
And that's great. Yeah, we Save the Frogs has been very well received while we were in country, and we expect a lot of people to, become informed and aware of the threats that are facing frogs abroad in Ghana. So we're really looking forward to that.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks.
Um,
Anything else to say?
I don't think so right now. Just
Okay.
excited to be on the call.
All right. Thanks for joining us. All right. Let's go to Nurul in Bangladesh. How's it going, Nurul?
Yeah, everything's fine. Hi. Thank you.
Hi.
I have two works to do in this week, and I am preparing a general brochure for Save the Frogs Day in Bangladesh, and I am preparing this brochure with the help of Animesh Ghosh from Green Explorer Society. And I just completed the design of brochure and sent it to other event organizers and teachers, university teachers in Bangladesh for their comments. And I will send it to Kerry as soon as possible for your comments. However, if any others interested to have this draft of the general brochure, I am pleased to send it to you. And another schedule meeting with the other organizers and university students. I arranged a meeting with the university students, basically in my university, that means Chittagong Veterinary and Animal Sciences University, and with the organizers, other event organizers, to report. They report about their progress, and they report also some constraints, and I give some suggestion and direction for their arranging the events. And another meeting was held with our Vice Chancellor of Chittagong Veterinary Animal Sciences University, A.S. Mahfuzul Bari. He personally asked me to inform him about the progress of upcoming Save the Frogs Day event in Bangladesh, and he asking some question about the Frogs Day, and that's all. And basically, I spent the major time to design the brochure in this week. Thank you.
Thanks, Nurul. Can you tell us what exactly is the brochure? Is this a multiple page type thing? Is it like 8.5 by 11,
the
A4?
is in A4 paper, and
Okay.
there is 3 sections, and one is about Save the Frogs Day, one is about amphibians in Bangladesh and in context of other country in the world, one is about Save the Frogs Day.
Okay. And your plan is to send this out to various universities to distribute to their participants, or how many of these are you hoping to get made?
Again, please.
How many brochures do you plan to make, to print?
I have planned to print out 2,000 brochures.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you'll send a few hundred to each of the event organizers, and they will distribute the brochures to the participants?
Yeah, and I will send it to required amount of brochure to other event organizers around the country.
Okay. All right. So definitely let's make sure that I see it. And ideally we should, maybe I'll look at it and give my input. You know, anything that we print 2,000 of, we want to make sure it's pretty much perfect before it gets printed. And then also we should, yeah?
One thing said the brochure will be in our native language in Bangla, and I will input the translation in another pages for your guidelines.
Okay, so in the end it would be good to have two versions of it that, you know, graphic design is the same, but one's in English and one's in Bangla or whatever the language is. Ideally, though, everyone should see that, and everyone in the class should see it and have a chance to comment before it goes final, because our goal is to work in a collaborative manner, and part of everyone's learning experience is helping out with, you know, other people's projects. So yeah, let's you know, don't get it printed until everybody has seen it and had their chance to put in some input. And ideally, this brings up another point, is that we should find a way, some kind of software or system, which, you know, is definitely in existence. We may even have it, but a way that we can all share files kind of easily between everyone. You know, we could just email everybody. I don't want to be mass CCing everybody and have all kinds of back and forth going that are CCing everybody. So if you do want to send something out to everybody, I think that's fine. Just keep it to a minimum when it, you know, use it for important stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Neural. Does anyone have something to say to Neural right now? And also, yeah, does anyone have anything for Neural before we move on and we can reattempt to see if Alyssa's mic works or if she has attempted to call in via that phone number? All right. Alyssa, I have unmuted you. Do you want to try to talk again? Here we go. Hi.
Hello?
Hi, we hear you. Welcome.
Is it working?
Yes.
All right. Hello, hello. I just wanted to say thank you to Chiodi, and I was very happy to help you with everything that I can. This week, as far as what I've been up to, I was kind of sick for half the week, so I've been down and out, but I have moved forward on just kind of ideas about who I plan to be contacting. I've added to my endless list of people that I'd like to talk to a few of the local animal shelters, just to see if they'd be willing to even have information cards available if anyone already has a pet that's an amphibian, that if they're turned in, that they know what to do with them. I spoke with one of our local conservancy areas, the Clearwater Conservancy, and they have agreed to go ahead and put an event on Save the Frogs Day. And I will be meeting with their director next week to find out what exactly we're going to do. And I will get details to you as soon as I can, but I'm very excited about that. Other than that, I've kind of been working on what is going to be my email that I want to send to a lot of these people, just so I can get the word out there, and I feel like it won't hurt to ask, so the more people that know about it have the opportunity to work with us. I also talked to one of the members from the country club I work at. She writes for the local newspaper, and I gave her an information card, and she's going to be putting something about Save the Frogs Day in her article, which will be printed doesn't come out to the end of the month. She only has one that she does every month on a Sunday. But the Sunday paper is usually the biggest one, so it should get out to the most people. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Getting ready to unleash information.
Good. And do you know what type of event the Clearwater Conservancy will hold? What's going to happen?
Not really yet. He said that they're more than happy to help out and basically just wants me to do a lot of the legwork for it, and I told him I have no problem with that. He had asked me for suggestions that I was thinking about, so I'm going on a walk this coming Thursday for the vernal pool tour. I want to talk to the guy that is a PhD who's giving the lecture for that to see if he'd be willing to come back and perhaps give another lecture for Save the Frogs Day. We were going to hold a bake sale and see if we can get some fundraising going on. Also, we were going to try and do like a walk through the woods out by like where the pond areas are. Hopefully there'll be a few species out that people can listen to, see in its own native habitat. And then pretty much just raise awareness, talk about what issues are facing the frogs, why we need to be concerned about saving them. And then we were also going to do a little kids area where they can color pictures of frogs, and I think we're going to send some into you for the contests.
Okay, sounds good. So this upcoming event of yours, I'm going to mute you while I talk so that we don't get feedback. The upcoming event that you're going to, the amphibian walk, is a great place for you to make an announcement and seek volunteers and get people's ideas and, you know, let them know that you're going to be holding the event at the Clearwater Conservancy. And I would also try to collect people's email addresses or phone numbers if people show clear interest in Save the Frogs Day at this walk you're about to go to. Definitely get their contact info. If you go to the Save the Frogs Day 2012 page or any of the past Save the Frogs Day years pages and click Pennsylvania, you can see what else is happening in Pennsylvania. And it would be good to contact those past years' organizers to let them know what you're up to and see if they know people in your area. So there's 4 or 5 events that happened in Pennsylvania last year, and this one I think is in near Altoona, which I can't remember if you mentioned or if that's near you. I just thought perhaps it's near you, so you'd want to contact them for certain. And the other thing as far as art goes, we have this page, savethefrogs.com/kids, and it's not finished and it's not linked to anywhere on the site. But if you type in savethefrogs.com/kids, this image right here is a coloring book PDF you're welcome to print out. You know, sometimes kids can draw stuff from scratch. Sometimes they like to have a little coloring page and then they can take it home, stick it on their refrigerator. Okay, so thanks for that update, Alyssa. And if you have anything final to say, it's on the air.
Just I'll keep you posted as things come along, but thanks for that PDF. That'll be useful.
Great. All right. If anyone has something to say to Alyssa, I can unmute you. Otherwise, we will move on to Samuel in Ghana. All right, here comes Samuel. You're on the air. How's it going, Samuel?
I'm doing good.
Okay. So please brief us on your activities, and I think talk a little bit slow because it's a little bit hard to hear you, and just talk clearly, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I plan with some projects, like having an event with the University College of Agriculture and Environmental Science in Ghana. But of late, I've not heard from Mr. Gilbert yet. So I've not heard whether he has his own events that we can do for the meantime. So currently, I'm waiting to get a response from him so that we can partake in his activities that he will bring out. Or if there is no other activity, then I will issue my own in it by bringing in an educational program in the senior high schools, educating the students about the importance of saving the Ghana frogs and the importance of getting the Tiwa Forest created, the Tiwa National Park created. So currently, I sent Mr. Gilbert a mail to know about his plans or his event he's planning to carry out. I've not heard from him yet, so I'm still waiting to get a reply from him.
Samuel, who is that you're talking about? Gilbert? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Gilbert.
Have you tried calling him on his phone?
Yeah, I tried calling him on his phone, but
Okay.
it couldn't go through. Yeah. So,
Okay.
mail yesterday. I sent him an email yesterday.
Yeah, what I would suggest is continuing with your efforts on the high school, and I'd probably just make the high school event the Friday, April 26th,
Yeah.
and plan on that. And then when you do get in touch with Gilbert, you know, it's probably going to be on a different day than you planned, and even if it's the same day, then you can just probably rearrange things. But for now, I'd probably move forward and set something up for the local high schools.
Okay. I've already sent some letters to the senior high school lecturers.
Okay.
And some of the heads, like the head of the department, sends 3 letters to 3 high schools in my area. So I had a reply from one of the high schools, and the head of the school told me that it will be possible if we should host it on 26th of April.
Which is fine.
That will be on a Friday. Yeah, that will be on a Friday. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
but,
sent
yeah.
I have sent Mr. Gilbert a message about his ideas concerning that.
Okay. And have you spoken with the students from the UCAES chapter?
Yes, please. I called.
As in,
I called the
here's,
president.
here's the names of
I
them.
called the president.
Okay.
I called the president of the chapter last
Mhm.
week Wednesday.
Okay.
So I spoke with him, and then I asked them whether they have heard from Mr. Then they said not yet.
Okay.
So-
Well, I'll try to contact Gilbert. So we should get this sorted real fast, because that seems to be the main delay in that we're waiting for the response of one person, which we don't want. So just make sure that these UCAES chapter executives are hopefully planning to assist in some way on Save the Frogs Day, and we should make sure we get everybody talking a little bit better.
Yes, because they assist by helping me going to some of the schools, because there are plenty. I would say there are about 6 senior high schools in the Atiwa area.
Okay.
So if we are able to, let's say, if we're able to divide ourselves into groups, then we'll be moving to schools by schools to give them some knowledge about saving the frogs in Ghana, and then about the importance that will be derived from creating a Tiwa Natural Park.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. There's at least 18 students there, and so you could go out, you know, hopefully 12 of the UCAES students can help out, in which case you could go in pairs, 2 people to each of those schools on that Friday. I think would be excellent if all 6 schools had 2 university students going to them on the same day, and they knew that all the other schools were getting talks about frogs, then I think that would be really good. So I think key is, if you can, talk to the president, find out when their next Save the Frogs chapter meeting is, and try to set it up so that you can be there and that you can all discuss Save the plan for Save the Frogs Day. And we'll definitely try to get in touch with Gilbert as soon as possible to ensure that our plan is not in any way conflicting with his plan. And,
Okay.
you know, also in reality, if, yeah, so we'll talk to him and see what's going on. If your event is going well enough, then we don't even necessarily need Gilbert at the event if he's busy in Kumasi. But you know, we'll figure it all out. So I'd focus on that. Contact the high schools and contact the UCAES Save the Frogs chapter and see how many of them are able to help out that day, and based on that you can figure out how many schools you plan to go to. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so we have gone through everybody, and now I can just open it up if someone has anything to say to anyone or about anything, then go ahead and send a chat saying me, and I'll unmute you. And here we go. Is there a way to put advertisements on vehicles? Alyssa asks, who spent a long time in Tanzania, East Africa, and most of the knowledge she gained about environmental endeavors she saw on the sides of tour vans. That's a good idea. I don't think there are many tour vans in the Atiwa area, though in northern Ghana, I haven't not been to northern Ghana, but I think that's the main kind of safari tourism area of Ghana, and perhaps they have that. The one thing that struck me as being the most important in advertising to the public view is that most buildings, whether they're houses or shops that are on any of the main streets in the towns, they seem to be painted by telephone companies who are advertising their telephone company. So they probably offer the person a free paint job on their building. The person gets free paint, and the telephone company probably gets a lot of cheap advertising. And yeah, I've asked Gilbert into looking into how much that costs, because it would be good to have Save the Frogs Ghana or Save the Frogs Day advertisement painted on some of these buildings rather than a telephone company's ad. So that's a good idea. I will ask Gilbert if he knows anything about that. And Samuel, if you know anything about how much it costs to get advertisements up on billboards or on the sides of buildings, then that would be good. Let's see. Yeah, Samuel asked what project Save the Frogs has in northern Ghana. We have some frog meat projects going on there, and there will soon be a chapter in northern Ghana at the university up there. Those university students are helping on our frog meat projects. I don't think we have anything at Mole National Park, which is, I think, the big tourism spot, and would certainly be a good place to have Save the Frogs Ghana, because that is a lot of tourists going there who would potentially be financial supporters of Save the Frogs Ghana, even if they're not sticking around for long. Then again, anyone who goes to Ghana for a few months to work in the world of nonprofits maybe ends up there. So yeah, good idea. Mole National Park. I'll put that in my notes. Okay, Samuel says that is where he went to school. Can we get a chapter there? Well, I think it's good first to start out with, first contacting your school. If you are able to contact the headmaster or principal, let them know that, hey, you're now volunteering for Save the Frogs, and Save the Frogs Day is coming up. Check out the SaveTheFrogs.com/Ghana website so he can learn more. I'd start with a phone call. Starting a chapter is a great idea, but it requires a little bit, or sometimes a lot, of supervision until the chapter people get familiarized and motivated enough with what we do so that they can, actually be doing things when we're not supervising them all the time. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. If you have time, then definitely any of your places that you went to school, if you still have contacts there, then that would be a good idea. And Alyssa says she'd be willing to run a fundraiser for getting a painting done on a building. And it would be great to have specifics on where it would be and the approximate number of people who would see it. And I think that's a good idea, and thank you. And maybe you can provide us some thoughts, or just think about it for a week, and maybe next week tell us if you have thoughts, or if you want to talk right now, just chat me, I'll unmute you, how you would do a fundraiser. But yeah, we do need to know how much it costs, so I'll talk to Gilbert, and also Samuel, you're welcome if you have some time and know who to contact about how much a billboard in town, in whatever the biggest town or most important town around the Atiwa Hills is. Find out how much it costs to get one of those billboards, how long it lasts, or how much to paint the side of one of the buildings, how much it costs for the advertisement space, how much it costs for the paint and for the painter, and then we can take it from there. Okay, Samuel already spoke with some of the students. Good. All right. So this is the kind of stuff I can talk to Samuel privately when we meet over Skype, which brings us back full circle to the point that all of you should be in contact with me at least once per week, hopefully, to talk privately about what's going on, have me read over anything major that you're planning to send out or get printed. So I think that concludes. If something has something to say, just send a quick chat. And otherwise, I guess the final thing that I can tell you is if you go to youtube.com/SaveTheFrogs, then our video from last week is up there. And a couple other Save the Frogs Academy videos. The intro to amphibian conservation video is up there in our first Lake Erie Toads class. So you're welcome to, if you need to refer to something, you can watch that last one. But just to let you know, it's up there for archival purposes, and hopefully will educate some motivated frog lover in the future. All right, so we'll meet again the same time next week, and I'll send you out the login info hopefully sooner, but regardless, it'll be in your email inbox before class. And I think that's it. So good job, everyone. Thanks for helping out, and have a great week. Bye.